Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. We have here a map and an article coming from the Ukrainians, and they tell us that the Russians are trying to break the front on 3 areas. I would say that is 4 areas, but hey, they say 3. I will bring the fourth one. So it's an update from the Ukrainian front, from the little garbage that happens over there, and I will show you, according to the Ukrainians, the Russians tried to break Avdiivka, Marinka, and they tried to destroy the Ukrainians in Kherson, where supposedly the Ukrainians crossed the Dnieper River on the left bank, and which is the east side or the south, however you want to look at it over there, which is actually east in this case, of the Dnieper River, and they hold tight over there. All right, well, let's start with the article coming from Ukrainska Pravda, and then jump to the map, to the Russian map. This is today, Saturday, 6th January 2024. Ukrainska Pravda. Russians attack most actively on Avdiivka, Marinka, and Kherson fronts. General Staff. Saturday, 6th. Now, look at this picture. What I would fire the persons who agreed to post this picture for us. Do you know why? Can you guess why? Because that confirms what the Russians have been saying. Remember, propaganda plays a major role in a war. That is, you tell all kind of lies, exaggerate, ignore information just to have people fight for you, continue to fight. Now, the Russians claim that the Ukrainians started employing older and older people to fight because they don't have young generation anymore. They're all either fled or they're dead, or they don't want to have anything to do with this. Now look at this picture. And they said it's about they hire people, they get people of 60 years old. Now look at this guy over here on the right side. How old do you think that guy is? By looking at him, I would say he's 58, 60. Go and check the I don't know, this guy or this guy. This is much younger and is puffy, so no. Why? How do I know he's puffy? Cheeky, like me. Anyway, and look at this guy. I would fire the guy who said, yeah, that's a good picture over there. No, it's not a good picture. That guy's an old dude. Older than me, okay? So I'm old, but he's older. So that's the first point I would make about this article. And now let's go and deal with the information these guys provide us about the front. The Russian occupiers were most active on 3 fronts over the past 24 hours, conducting 17 attacks on Avdiivka front, 15 attacks on the Marinka front, and 13 attacks on the Kherson front, all of which were unsuccessful. So let's go to the map, and here is the map of the hostilities. And the Marinka and Avdiivka are in Donetsk Oblast here, and then the Kherson is right here north of the Crimean Peninsula. So Avdiivka, Marinka right here south of Bakhmut, and you have here the Kherson. Avdiivka is the one that is, in my opinion or assessment, already lost. It is surrounded or encircled. And this is Marinka, which again, the Russians advance and it's already gone. And if you go to Kherson, what they're trying to do in Kherson is, according to Ukrainians, they managed to cross the Dnieper River, and they have some troops here in Krinky, in this area right here. And supposedly the Russians are trying to drive them out. So you know who's who, what's what. Now I would say, against the grain here, is that the Russians are also advancing or trying to destroy the guys right here in Kupiansk. This is Kharkov Oblast. I read an article earlier today where it says that UK intelligence, an expert, was saying that the Russians will attack the city, the Russian troops will attack the city of Kupiansk, not bombard it anymore. So it seems like they cleared everything around, and now they move in with the troops. I don't think the Ukrainians will give us that information, but it's good at least that they gave us how much they gave. So let's read further. 62 combat engagements took place over the course of the day. In total, the Russians launched 5 missile strikes and 25 airstrikes and fired 32 times from multiple launched rocket systems on the position of Ukrainian troops and populated areas. Russian terrorist attacks have resulted in civilians, tralala. Okay, we don't deal with that, other people deal with that. The Russian occupiers conducted another airstrike at night using 2 Shahed. All Russian drones were destroyed. As Putin said, my job is not to judge the terrorists. My job is that's God's job. My job is to send them to God, to judge them. All right, so let's go back here. It's the same. I'm reading these kind of things. I'm not reading the victims and civilians. Sometimes when the bullshit is too big, then I say, come on. The settlements of Donetsk Oblast, in Zaporozhye Oblast, Chernovoy, Mayak, and Kherson Oblast came under attacks by the Russians. More than 100 settlements in Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporozhye, Dnipropetrovsk, Kherson, Mykolaiv Oblast came under Russian artillery fire. So basically, they were, I have a problem here with this little thing. Basically, this is what they say, all this came under fire. From Chernihiv to Sumy, Kharkiv, Luhansk, Donetsk, Zaporozhye, Dnipropetrovsk, Kherson, and Mykolaiv. All right, next. Within the area of responsibility of the forces in Kupiansk front. So that's the one that I mentioned, that these guys avoid right here, Kupiansk. They're talking about this area. Ukrainian forces repelled 7 Russian attacks. On the Liman front is south of Kupiansk, which is right here where you see all this. This is bad, right here, for the Ukrainians, obviously. Liman is here, Krasny Liman. So in the Liman area, in the Liman front, the Russians did not conduct any assault operations. Weekend, right? On the Bakhmut, which is south of Liman, Bakhmut is right here. They call it Artemovsk. They didn't even mention it, but it's going towards Chasiv Yar or Chasiv Yar. Oh, look at these guys. They go so deep all of a sudden. How in the hell? These guys work in mysterious ways, like... okay. In the Bakhmut front, Ukrainian forces repelled 3 Russian attacks in the vicinity of Klinchivka and Avdiivka, Donetsk Oblast. Now we go to Avdiivka. Avdiivka is south of this one, is the one I showed you that I think it's already... Man, I never been able to use this map so close. Like, no, something these guys did. Bravo. Within the vicinity of responsibility of forces of the Avdiivka front, Ukrainian forces are continuing to repel Russian attempts to encircle Avdiivka. Ukrainian forces are holding the line and inflicting significant losses on the Russians. Over the course of the past day, Ukrainian defense forces repelled 4 Russian attacks in the vicinity of Novobakhmutivka and Avdiivka, and another 17 assaults in the vicinity of Pervomaiske and Nevelsky, Donetsk Oblast. On the Marinka front is south of Avdiivka. Right here, it's already covered, already done, conquered. Ukraine's defense forces are continuing to hold the Russians back near Marinka. I like that because it's not in Marinka, where they repelled 15 Russian attacks. We go to Shakhtarsk Donetsk. The Russians did not conduct any assault operations. So again, these guys were on leave. So this is in this area right here before we get to Zaporozhye Oblast. Okay. So here is the Mykolaiv here, and this is Kherson. This is the north of the Crimean Peninsula. Let's go back to the narrative. In the Zaporozhye, so Shakhtarsk, nothing over there. And Zaporozhye front, we go to Zaporozhye, which is in between Kherson and Donetsk. This is the one where the counteroffensive supposedly occurred. But unsuccessful. Ukraine defense forces repelled a Russian attack in the vicinity of Robotyne, Zaporozhye Oblast. This is right here, Robotino by the Russians. That's it. And we go to Kherson. Kherson is the one that I showed you a second ago, is right on top of the Crimean Peninsula. So this is Kherson Oblast. Within the area of responsibility of the Odessa Operational Strategic Group of Forces in Kherson Front, Ukrainian forces are continuing to undertake operations to expand their foothold on the left eastern bank of the Dnieper River. Despite Russia's significant losses in the area, its forces are continuing to try to drive the Ukrainian forces out of their positions. Over the course of the past day, the Russians undertook 13 unsuccessful attacks, assault operations. So, meanwhile, Ukraine defense forces are continuing to inflict losses on Russian personnel and military equipment, exhausting them along the entire line of contact. Over the course of the past day, Ukraine's Air Force carried out 5 strikes on clusters of Russian military personnel and 1 more on a command post. Ukrainian rocket forces and artillery units struck 4 clusters of Russian military personnel, weapons and equipment, and ammunition storage points and artillery system singular. Okay, so this is where these guys, as I said, claim they landed, the Ukrainians, and the Russians tried to push them across the river. So I think it is Kupiansk, Liman, Krasny Liman, the one that's like this. Then you have Avdiivka, which is also like that. Then you have Marinka, which I think things are done over there, but probably they try to do something like this. And then you have the Kherson, which is just shelling one another, not advancing, not retreating yet. So here it is, my friends, a little update on today, the 6th of January 2024. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.